Go back. Okay, got it.
Okay, so are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for joining us today for Wisdom Wednesdays, where we're going to be studying essential oil education and have a lifestyle workshop. So just a couple of class tips. We are recording this class. So if you don't wish to be recorded, just go ahead and turn off your camera. If you have a question, then down at the bottom under, let's see, it says reactions. There's a little button that says raise my hand. That way, if you click that, we can see you. Otherwise, we can't necessarily see you if you do this. So it'd be great if you could just push that button and then we can see you. And then we just ask that you mute yourself when you're not talking because it affects who's featured in Zoom. So that's it. Those are just some class tips that we have for you tonight. So we're going to be featuring the neuroendocrine system, neuroendocrine center, the root. So we're going to discuss what it is and how we can help balance our root using oils, supplements, different modalities. So a little bit about the root. The root area is at the base of the spine, and it can be described as the force that grounds us. So some healers say that in order to balance the other energy centers in the body, we need to balance the root first. So it's like the first one that we want to try to help balance, and then we can work on other energy systems. So if you think about the root area being the base of our spine, we want our energy in the spine to be aligned, right? So since our spine holds up our torso, when it's in balance, this can kind of affect the rest of our body systems. So that's why it's super important. So we're going to cover all of that. Applying oils to the spine can help bring the body back into structural and electrical alignment, which is why a lot of us either use raindrop on ourselves or we do it on other people, because it really is powerful in helping to balance the entire body as a whole. But the spine, applying oils to the spine in general, it can be very powerful for the entire body. So the root is sort of at the tailbone part of the body. So having the root energy center balance may be able to help our body, because that may relieve us of certain misalignments in the body system. So think hormones, endocrine center, organs, emotions. So my personal experience with the root energy system is newer to me. I first experienced it when we did the aroma yoga class, and it wasn't really, I knew about energy centers and I was working with my energy centers already. But in aroma yoga, we were able to apply the different oils to the different systems. So that's when I first applied oils just to my root, to my tailbone. And I realized that applying oils to my tailbone and surrounding area, it felt so calming and balancing, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. So it can be very grounding for the trunk. So think like the trunk of my body is grounded, which also affects everything else in the body. So as I work to apply the oils and do some yoga and breathing exercises, I'm realizing that I had a lot of tailbone pain, and it gets better as I'm applying the oils and helping, support that area of my body. So I realized after the aroma yoga class, I was like, my mental and emotional state is calmer and my other energy centers feel more balanced. So I realized that when energy is flowing through our body at a balanced, steady pace, our body systems can function in a more balanced way. So I was really excited by the fact that I was able to see that happen and experience that happen. And the oil that Tina, I don't remember exactly what we used, but I think it was evergreen essence on the root. I think we started with that. I don't know that we used anything else. And the evergreen essence has quickly become one of my favorite oils. I don't know. It's all the tree oil. So it can, be very grounding for the body. And so it's perfect to use on the root, which is we're trying to ground and set our body up, with balance with all of our energy systems. I think evergreen essence is one of my favorite to use on that. So it's sort of in that way, like I've sort of changed my view of essential oils lately. I used to look at them sort of like, oh, if I use it, it'll heal me or whatever. And that's not if we can see them as potential supporters and balancers, then we can view our body from a different perspective. So when we can attain balance and support in our body system, it allows our body to do the work it needs to do for us. So in using oils and different modalities like we're going to talk about today, we can help give our bodies the tools it needs to balance, keep balanced. And in that, some of our misalignments in our body may reduce or go away simply because we're supporting and balancing our energy systems. So anyway, that's been sort of my experience. And the more I use oils, the more sort of balanced I feel in those energy systems. So I'm excited to learn more about the root and how we can like routinely use this in our lives every day.
That's great. I love all of that. Okay. Well, I'm going to have you share a little bit more, I guess a little bit later on some product information too, Christy, that you wanted to share. Is that cool?
We'll talk about some product stuff that I've been using that's really also helped that area of my body too, to be able to stay balanced. So
yeah, that's so cool. Okay, so I want to touch on Raindrop a little bit, because if someone's watching this and they aren't familiar with Raindrop, I love that you mentioned that, because we have an amazing system of application, we'll call it, called Raindrop Technique. It's kind of famous, like people have heard of it, but they don't really know what it is. And it's actually Young Living essential oils, very specific set of essential oils that are dropped along the spine, placed on the feet. The chemistry of the oils have specific properties that work specifically on different systems and cellular body. And so it is actually an amazing, that's a whole amazing like treatment protocol. And so the people that are sharing this today that you may know, or wherever you're watching this, just inquire about that, because we can all do that and get that. I know that's one of the things that Christy does in her own home. I know that probably Sienna does too. And I know Kathleen does. And I know everyone else on here probably receives Raindrop. So one great way to connect all the neuroendocrine centers is to work with Raindrop. So you mentioned that. And then also you talked about the tree oils, like the Evergreen Essence. I really got connected to Evergreen Essence. My mom and I went to our farm in Idaho. But it's the one that is up north of St. Mary's, and it has all this evergreen essence. And then when we drove around the farm, it was just all these different kinds of Christmas trees, basically. And it was such an incredible feeling, even just being there at the farm. You felt, I don't know, it's kind of like being up in Lake Tahoe, where you just like feel this difference of frequency. It sounds like really woo-woo, but it's really true. And that oil helps you feel that way. And in an odd way, you're like lifted, but you're also grounded. And the neuroendocrine center that Christy and I are sharing about today is considered an earth center also, in terms of the element it connects to. So if you think about feeling grounded and earthbound, that's that connection of the earth signs. That's really cool. So let's see here. Oh, I got to figure out how to go forward on this. So I don't know if you guys are seeing a red stripe through my presentation. I don't know where that came from. It literally just showed up just now, and I'm like, what is that? So before I go too deeply into what we're going to do, I thought it'd be really fun to have Sienna come on. And I really don't know what she's going to share, but she always shares something great. And she connects completely, very deeply on multiple dimensions, how working with the oils, inside out, emotionally, spiritually, which is that dimensional place. And so I just thought it'd be fun to hear from her and some coaching techniques and tips that she might want to share.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sienna, otherwise known as Zen Mama, although sometimes I don't feel zen, so I have to grab oils to reconnect to me. So I found the oils in 2009, and I was teaching natural childbirth. And so I was looking for a way to help people relax on a deeper level, especially when they were in extreme discomfort, which labor is an athletic event that can take over your body. And when you're trying to do it without any kind of pain medication, you need to be able to relax to its fullest extent, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So the oils kind of fell into my lap. Thank you, Laura. And I started to use them in my birth classes, and then very quickly moved using them on an everyday basis with my family. So one of the things I love to do before I start anything major, whether it be a talk, whether it be an important conversation, or I'm frazzled and I need to stop and center, is this centering sequence. And I just decided to share it right while we were chatting. So I wasn't going to do this, but I would grab an oil. Everybody that's on here, grab any oil that you'd like. I am taking Envision, and place it in your non-dominant hand. So like one drop. And then you're going to activate it 3 times clockwise and cup it over your nose. And just for a second, practice that 5-second inhale and 5-second exhale. And what I'm going to walk you through is a 1-minute centering sequence. It spells the word center, C-E-N-T-E-R, and I can type the words in the chat later. But so on each letter, you say part of the affirmation on the inhale and part of the affirmation on the exhale. I use this a lot, especially in the morning before I hit the day running. You know, I'm still in control of my energy before I get on social media, before I check my emails, before I walk out and start talking with my family. I like to stop and center. So we're going to take a deep breath in, and you are going to say in your head, I am completely. And then on the exhale, stopping. And then on the letter E, you're going to inhale, I expect. Nothing. On the N, I name. On the exhale, my work. On the T, I trust. My resources. On the E, I embrace this moment. And on the R, I return with strength. When you're alone at home, it's a little calmer and a little slower. I'm not really good at counting to 5 when I'm trying to give the cue and say it, and I'm usually saying it in my head. But that's C-E-N-T-E-R, 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. So that 1 minute is such a gift to yourself to stop and center before you are going to do anything. So if you're finding yourself overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, that is a really good way to use the oils, is that deep intentional breath. So that was just a little thing I wanted to add, but I didn't know that you were going to be covering aroma yoga, and I ran and grabbed my book because I'm in my Zen den and I have all my references at my fingertips. And yeah. And so abundance was one of the oils that came up, and that's one of the oils that I grabbed that I was going to chat about. So
Perfect.
We're always in alignment when we are centered. So one of the tools that I like to use when I am trying to connect to a feeling that I'm having, and everybody knows that if they come to one of my classes and they say, oh, you know, I feel this like discomfort in my shoulder or in my lower back or in my wherever, I might give them an oil to try. But if they come back and they tell me that again, and it's the same area, I say, are you ready to go to the blue book?
Blue book.
And they freak out usually. No, I'm kidding. They get excited and they go, oh, the blue book. Okay, the blue book is called Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. I actually saw this chiropractor speak at convention, which is coming up in June. I'm super excited. I doubt she's going to be there, but that doesn't matter. The best $15 book I have, one of the best $15 books I bought. So how I use it is you can look up different things in here. One, you can look up the emotion that you're actually dealing with. If you actually can identify the emotion that you're dealing with, right? Sometimes you're just feeling it in your body and you're like, I can't pinpoint what I'm feeling. Or you can look at the body alarm points on your body and actually go to the charts, and they have pictures of the body and you can pinpoint, oh, that's interesting. And then it'll take you to emotions. Or you can look at an oil that you keep grabbing off the shelf and going, why am I grabbing that same oil every day? And it will help lead to the body alarm point or the emotion. So I love it for so many different reasons. But today I decided, because Tina and I were just talking about, like, how do you bring more abundance into your life? And we're not just talking about like financial abundance, although that is a really nice thing to have. Just abundance in all areas of your life. So when I was thinking about abundance, I'm like, what is the opposite of when I don't feel abundance? When I don't feel I have enough, I feel lack. So I grabbed the book and I went to the emotion lack. And it said the opposite, the other side of lack is faith. And the affirmation, or they call it the way out, I call it an affirmation, you could call it whatever you want to call it, is I trust I can change. So there's like a little phrase that you use. And then the oil is not abundance, although I'm trying to think what's in abundance, but ginger is the oil that they have you take. And then they identify an alarm point on your body that you can put the oil. So I wasn't going to talk about lack. I was going to talk about scarcity, but I got so excited because I earmarked all these pages. So, but anyway, the point is like you feel, when you don't have abundance, you feel lack or you feel scarcity. So I'm going to skip to scarcity because I don't want to model all these different points because that would take up a whole call. So I'm going to skip to scarcity because that's the opposite of abundance, in my opinion. And scarcity really is the first one I looked up today. And the oil was abundance. That was cool. I was like, oh my gosh, when I don't have abundance, I feel scarcity in my life. And it could be anything, like I don't have the things I need, or I don't have the time that I want from my husband, or we're thinking about any area of your life where you feel that scarcity or that lack. Abundance is the oil. I am in alignment with universal flow. I am in alignment with universal flow is the statement. And then you put this on the alarm point called the laryngeal prominence. And I'm never good at any of those science words like Tina, so I don't have to be. I just look at it and I go, where is it? So then I go to the chart.
Good.
And of course, it's all right here, which is not the root. We're not talking about the root, but the whole the whole throat area. So I'll take the oil and I'll put it in my non-dominant hand usually. I'll activate it like we did. I'll take those deep breaths. I might not center, but because I might have already done that. And then I'll put that on the area and I'll say in my head or out loud, I'm in alignment with universal flow. I'm in an alignment with universal flow. And then sometimes when I'm like, if your mind, the monkey mind or that negative chatter is there and I have to work harder on it, that might be when I'm centering in my work. When I say I name my work is just stop and center and trust this process, this resource, trust my breath, trust the oils, trust the affirmations, trust the alarm points, trust my body, what it's telling me. And then sometimes I have to go farther and I'll write, like, I'm feeling this negative feeling. This is the feeling I want to have. What are the steps I can take? And one of the steps is to trust the resources that I have at my fingertips. I know that kind of sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. When you take your oils and you have them at your fingertips, you have them in strategic places around your house, you have them in your purse, your pocket, your backpack, wherever, then they're there to remind you to take that deeper breath. And every single time I'm stuck, it's because I'm not breathing at a deeper level and I'm not being honest with that feeling I'm having because I'm trying to push it under the rug because I'm a busy mom and I feel like I don't have time to deal with it. And that's when the throat chakra starts getting jacked up and my lower back, probably the root, start, and I just am compacted. So that's my little tidbit. The centering sequence is a 1-minute sequence that you can use the oils whenever you need it. And then if you haven't checked out this book, I highly recommend it. It teaches you so much more than I showed you. I use it with kids too. Like, you know, when you get like those tween teens, they don't often want to tell you exactly like, I'm feeling scarcity today, or I'm feeling anger, or I'm feeling frustration. They don't like state it that clearly. So sometimes I'll literally just open to the emotions and I'll say, you know, here's some emotions sometimes people have, and they really can't pinpoint what it is or what's causing it. And you don't have to say a word. I'm just going to read some of these. And if any of them sound like something you've heard of or you're feeling, you can just stop me and then I'll grab the oil and we'll just play around with it. I try to make it really lighthearted with like kids and teens because they're really not into it sometimes. They're usually annoyed, right? So, so anyway, that's how I use the book. If you ever come to one of my classes, you'll see it. If you get an iTovi scan, I highly recommend you grab one of the emotion oils that comes up for you and go right to the book. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank
Any
you,
questions?
Sienna.
You're welcome.
Yeah, put the questions in the comment box and we'll make sure to get to them. Do you have any comments, Christy? On that?
What's the name of the book again? Can you hold it up? I can't.
Emotional.
Releasing emotional patterns with essential oils.
It's the same one in my office. Remember that blue one? With a
Yeah.
drip of water. That honestly, it'd be fun to do a pick, like maybe put a, gosh, this is just so crazy. Like we should put a little team of us together that are kind of into that kind of stuff because I know Christy loves it. And I
do.
love it, and work together and like
Excited.
it'd be fun to coach each other through it because it is super incredible. And I don't know if you saw the guy that I saw present with that book, and I actually did my best to recreate that, but you almost need to interview people first because you have it for time's sake, you want to look up the tabs like she did. So you're ready to like, because basically you can call someone in the audience and they can say my shoulder, la, la, la. And you can look up shoulder and then there's 3 books. There's that book, Feelings Buried, Dead or Alive, and Heal Your Body, and that book. And look up the emotions around the shoulder and you have them look at all 3. And usually one triggers for them. And then there's that statement or that way out. I like to say prayer or whatever. And you have them state that 3 times. And then all of a sudden, and then apply the oil, like Sienna said, to the alarm point. And then their shoulders like has a miracle. Okay. I mean, it's really fun. So it'd be fun. I don't know. We should think about how we could do like a workshop in that where it was like ongoing sort of, where we did some homework around it and we did, you know, said those things every day, especially if we have something that's constantly triggering in our body or like a signal, like in my low back, there's a signal all the time in my low back, or, you know, at least that's been the pattern in the past. So what is that really about? Like we should go in deep or, you know, something like that. That's an idea. Let us know if you think that's a good idea. And for those of you who are watching this on Facebook later or somewhere else, and there's a place to comment, put your ideas too, so we can find them later. Or message us and let us know what your thoughts are if you're seeing this later, because I know a lot of people want to see this later. Okay, so thank you, Sienna. I love that book. I love that you shared that. It's an amazing book. I keep doing this wrong because this is not your typical PowerPoint. Okay. So I put this picture up. I hope, Sienna, you can see it. It's a really cool picture of the root of this tree. It's just incredible. And even the leaves at the bottom are kind of red. So this neuroendocrine center, like Christy was saying, is at the root base of your spine at your tailbone area. And this area represents your groundedness, basically, and your ability to be completely in earth and earthbound in terms of, you know, I can be so spiritual sometimes that I'm like out of my body, you know, and not in my body. And really there should be a balance of that. You should be, you know, in all the centers of your body in an even way, because then you're like, as you were made. Okay. And you're authentic. and you are able to use all the resources around you. It's okay to be climate in different ones or have blocks, and that happens to all of us. But when they're all flowing, then we feel most like ourselves and we are able to function the best. So at the root, it's critical because guess where fear is held? It's held at the root. And this is this. So the activating, let's see, the key words for this are courage, security, and grounding and boundaries. I mean, how important is that in our lives? To have courage, number one, to be able to face, feel security in your life. So here's your fear, right? Grounded meaning I'm clear, I'm in my body. Boundaries, this is where we go haywire, at least for me. This is where being good at boundaries is basically like saying yes to yourself. And this is like, I'm just discovering levels of this. Okay. So, so if we can go back to maybe an oil that you have that has a tree oil in it, it could be frankincense, which is a single oil, which is a tree oil, Valor, which I absolutely love, which I just wanted to mention what all was in Valor, or evergreen essence, or cedarwood, or just any of the wood oils, and or have wood oils in them. Maybe I'll do frankincense this time. And then put it in your left hand, activate it. Just, it helps it spread out, and it's a balancing way to apply oils. And we'll breathe that in again. And this time when we breathe this in, we're going to take it and feel it move where it goes in our body. And I'd actually like to hear from everyone, because there's just a few people on right now, where they feel this oil actually go. So I don't know if everybody's microphones are on.
Mine's on.
Where's it going, Mom?
It goes first to my third eye and then to my heart.
Yeah, mine's going to my heart.
Heart.
Yeah.
This is Deborah. It goes to my heart.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, everybody.
So this time, let's take another breath and let's send this down through the heart and all the way down to the base of our spine, to that area that's at the base of our spine. Think of it as like a glowing beam of ball of energy and send that oil and that breath all the way down to that root area. And then if you can envision a color, you want to choose red. Red is a really healing color for that area. Even red blankets, red clothing, red underwear is an idea. Some people use stones. You can work with the color red and the frequency of the color to help open that area. For those of you who are using Valor, I like it because we have to, one of the keywords for the root is courage, right? So the one oil of all time for courage for me is definitely Valor, right? So Valor has black spruce. Now they've had to change this a little bit because I know that rosewood we can't get anymore. So if you come across an old bottle of Valor, hang on to it because it has rosewood in it. Black spruce, camphor, here's, so here's two trees, blue tansy, boswellia carteri, which is frankincense. And then we have geranium, and it's just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous oil. So it's going to give you that courage, right? And it's going to give you, anybody feel going down that far? It's just setting that intention. It's like you can send it there. It's so amazing. So now let's go ahead and grab, I don't know if you guys remember from one of our other classes, but find those two bumpy bones at the clavicle right in the front, and then drop diagonally sort of away and down to the little divots. And I would show them to you if I wasn't chubby, but I'm chubby, so you don't see my divots. And this is a pressure point called K27 or kidney 27. When you hold this point, it'll get all your things run in the right direction, like all the flowingness of your body running the right direction. That should actually help also. And you may remember from last week that we also did CV17, which was at the center of the chest. You can go there. So I'm like imagining this coming all the way down to my root, also just balancing at the same time. And then kidney 27 helps you breathe as well. So getting the courage to face all the things having to do with the root, because this is where fear can be held. Okay, so what can I say? Here's some other oils: cypress, Idaho balsam fir, or now it's grand fir, vetiver, the blend of abundance, grounding, of course, valor. Its polarity theme is security versus fear. Okay. Its balance characteristics are feeling safe, having vitality, prosperity, livelihood, good health, grounded in comfort in the body. If it's excessive and out of balance, you can be overweight, you can hoard, you can have material fixations, you could be greedy or sluggish or tired, you could be fear of change, addiction to security, too rigid of boundaries, okay, and deficient, disconnected from body, underweight, anxious, restless, poor focus, discipline, financial difficulties, poor boundaries. This could cause anorexia or bulimia, disorganization. Some of the abuses that are related to this area. So this is what I will see when I put my hands over a body, and you can put your hands right over that area, whether they're face down or face up, and you can just feel right over their body. And sometimes in these centers, there'll be a coolness or a nothingness, and there just won't feel like there's any vibration there or any heat or any, everybody feels that differently. So I can actually feel the thickness of the air. I can feel the temperature. I can feel a pulse even in the air above the body. You guys can too, it's just practice. But it comes to people differently. But there'll be sometimes a cold, like just blocked, like nothing is moving here. And a lot of times there's a trauma that's happened recently or an old trauma. So birth trauma can cause this. So Sienna might know something about that. Abandonment. I literally had a client on my table one time, and we would go in and just hold these areas and set intentions and just bring some flow there. And I said, well, this is very cold. There's nothing here. So we just want to hold that and open that up. And I said, it could be because, say, for instance, you had a parent leave you like when you were 2, and she just started crying because her dad left when she was 2. And when that opened up, so I could feel it start to just have a little warmth, and I could just feel that there was something alive there now. I'll share this with you people here, which actually I'm sharing with everybody, I guess. We don't know this person's name. She actually ended up with a cycle. She got a cycle right after this happened, and she had already had her cycle. So she got a cycle once the energy started moving through this area. So it's kind of crazy what can happen when you're able to finally move through some old blocks. It was like kind of like meeting her, you lie down, meeting her connection to what was going on in her body. Sometimes they can have a survival fear, Holocaust, genocide, veterans, poverty, like all of that can be wrapped up in this area. And that could be a family member that you care about or a fear about it. So courage, security, grounding, and boundaries. And some of the places you can apply the oils are, like Christy was saying, on the sacrum, also the back of the neck, the bottoms of the feet, on the little toe, and on your pinky fingers. That's supposed to really help open up this area of your body. And let's see what else I have on here.
Hey, Tina, before you move on, can I say something about that whole?
Yes,
thing with
please.
the birth?
Yeah.
So fascinating. Personally, I had a lot of female issues after my second child, and I wanted to have Jenna, my third child, but anyway, 7 years later, I finally had her. But I had gone to an alternative chiropractor. She generally called herself a chiropractor because the kind of stuff she does works on the whole body. But anyway, she worked on the root area after months of working with her. And she said, and I was told by my gynecologist I wouldn't have any more babies. And she said, okay, well, be careful. You're probably going to get pregnant. And I got pregnant right away after we had opened up that area. It was so
Right.
interesting. And then the other thing that is interesting is what I see as a childbirth educator and birth doula is if people do have traumas that haven't been addressed, and they're a woman who's trying to relax and let her body open to birth this child, their births tend to be longer and more intense because they're not working with their body and they have a lot of, held trauma in their body. So I try, not everybody's really understands all this or is maybe not necessarily even completely open to it. But if somebody comes to me and they're looking to have a birth without any medical interventions and they want to have it naturally without any drugs to relieve the pain, then I really have to bring up, well, you don't have to tell me anything personally, but if there's any kind of past traumas, especially sexual abuse, that will be held in your body and it will likely affect your birth process. So anyway,
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen where people have chosen not to address the issues beforehand. I mean, you can't clear everything in your life, but if you're holding something and you haven't talked about it and then you go into labor, it will extend that process. So anyway, it's been fascinating. So this is a great reminder as I'm working with some people right now.
Yes, and the next center goes right into the womb. So literally those two areas hold all your relationship. You're literally like from birth to 18 months is your first center, and your second center is 18 months, I think 3 years. So anything that happens, and that's how you're developing for the rest of your life, certain characteristics around that. So but like it said, at birth trauma. So I got an x-ray of my body from my doctor, and that's this one over here. You're right. This girl is perfect, right? But I like how they lit up the sacrum. I don't know if you guys can see that area. So you can see at the base of the spine kind of what all that involves. And you can see what Sienna's talking about, like the baby comes through those hip bones. And that's pretty amazing. And on the other side here, it's just a reminder of these elements and how they represent in the body. So we're over here at the earth, which is the plant with the actual earth. And the next class we do for the center will be water, which is really fun, by the way. And there's a lot of movement and motion there. At least that's what you would like to have. And that opens up everything having to do with relationships. So if you've gone through a major, even physical abuse, sexual abuse, I want to mention an oil called Sarah, and just go to the people that are your main oilers in your life, and they will talk to you about Sarah, because you want to place Sarah where you've actually been abused. It's pretty powerful, that oil. But work with someone who knows what they're doing with that. And then let's see what else I have here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do some product testimonial too. So, okay, let me finish out my notes here. So, oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I have something I'm gonna do right at the end. I think we will go into supplements next, if you're okay with that, Christy, because I have a final thing we're gonna do at the end.
Okay.
Just remembered that I moved that slide over. I'm like, where's that slide? Okay, so obviously keeping things healthy in the body in these areas from the inside out is not such a bad plan, remembering that a lot of the products from New Living have essential oils in them.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, for sure. So, one of the things I've struggled with for a long time is constipation, but it's really near the root of my body that I deal with it. It's not throughout my whole intestine, which I thought was interesting. I kept noticing that and I was like, why is that happening? And then I started working with the root of my spine and that energy center and sort of, my abdominal energy centers too, trying to get some energy flowing through there. And I realized that that's a really big deal. When we're not balanced in our energy system, it can cause things like constipation. So I've had that most of my life, and I don't think I don't know. I will probably always need some fiber. So Kathleen, you put this into a cup for me one time, and I was like, I need that. And it's good. It tastes really good. And this one has the ingredients that Tina just put up there. Thank you. So this has a lot of just different types of fibers, and it tastes sweet to me. So, a lot of fiber drinks that I've tried taste chunky and chalky, and like I've had some very bad things that I have swallowed with trying to get fiber down. So when I tried this, I was like, yes, I need this. So I'm kind of a little odd probably in how I use it. I put lettuce into my Vitamix. So I'll put like a couple handfuls of lettuce. I'll put 1 or 2 scoops of this. If I feel like I need a little more movement in my bowels, I'll use a couple of this. And then I just put frozen fruit and water in my Vitamix, and I just blend it. And I drink that in the mornings, every morning. That's just my breakfast. But I have skipped days of that, and the story is very different. So I like this product a lot. There's 2 different ones. There's ICP and ICP Daily. And I like the daily one because I do like to get, I don't know that we could possibly get enough fiber by just eating salads or, skins of apples or whatnot. I think it's a great boost. So it also goes in and it scrubs, which I like that cleaner feeling in my intestines. So I like that it goes in and sort of scrubs the intestinal wall and gets some, it is said that we can have up to 20 pounds of waste in our intestines, which is really gross. So it's just stuff that, like, if you think of a clogged pipe in a sink or, whatnot, it kind of like cakes on the sides. It's kind of, our intestines can do the same thing, especially when we struggle with constipation or slower bowels. That stuff can kind of get stuck on the side of the intestines. And this has, what's the main ingredient that does that? I didn't look ahead of time. I probably should have. The tamarind juice powder, the gorgum, the fiber, tapioca and agave inulin powder. So that can go in and help with a little scrubbing action. And it has prebiotics in it. Prebiotics are very good for the intestinal tract too, to help feed the good bacteria. So not only do we need probiotics, it's good to have a prebiotic in there to help feed that good bacteria and keep it going, so that the probiotic kind of multiplies that and gives us good bacteria. The prebiotic feeds that bacteria and keeps it, the longevity of it. So, and then Comfortone. Do you have a slide for Comfortone?
yes.
I love Comfortone. When I'm really struggling with sluggish bowel, this is what I take, and I will do 1 to 3 of these at a time. So I may take, if I'm really feeling like I need to clean myself out, I will take 3 of these in the morning and 2 or 3 of these at night for a few days. It's not something that you'd want to take on a regular basis. If you're still struggling with constipation, that's something you might want to figure out in another area, but this definitely takes care of constipation for sure. and goes in and it does a little cleaning and just keeps the bowels moving again. This one does have the Cascara Sagrada in it,
Mhm, mhm.
which I again really like that ingredient for getting things moving, and it helps quickly. And then it has the psyllium husk in there, which also goes in and it scrubs the intestinal lining, and apple pectin. All of those are really great. And this one also has the licorice, which is great for the licorice root, which is great for the stomach, and the cayenne, which is great for the stomach. I had H. pylori years ago. And if you've ever dealt with that, it's terrible. But licorice, some of these products, licorice is really good for that. The psyllium is really good for that. The cayenne is really good for that. So this is good for a lot of different uses, I feel like, not just constipation and getting you moving, but it's good for a lot of different things. So this one has
Cool.
peppermint oil, rosemary oil, tangerine, ginger. Those are all, help with inflammation and calming of the digestive tract too. So these are good products. These are in my cupboard all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to give this opportunity. I forgot to mention that we're not saying to use these products in place of seeing your medical professionals. You could bring these to your medical professionals, let them know what you would like to use or what you've heard might work good, that kind of thing. But this specific product I have to mention is very unusual in that it creates the movement of the intestinal tract. So it stimulates the movement, which is different than other products that sort of emulsify. And this one really gets things, because like sometimes you get to a place where things just have stopped. For me, like when I'm traveling or I've just whatever stress, I'll just stop and I'm like, oh, great, and I'll do the same thing Christy does. I'll take several, 2, 3, 4, and then at day and night until things get moving again. And then I'm sort of fine. But I have found that ICP Daily, which I don't have with me on my trip right now, is fantastic to sort of gently, yummily, because it tastes good, keep me on track. And so I'm really missing it. I just throw a scoop in my Ningxia. It's a little sandy, but it's fruity and citrusy and I like it. But I'm sorry, the ICP Daily. But one thing that Susan Hall shared about this product that she told me about was that when you have parasites, and let's say you're doing some sort of cleanse where you kill parasites, or maybe you're using Parafree, or maybe you've done that with a doctor. The thing that's nice about this is it has a thing called bentonite in it, and it tears the sacs of the parasites, like the babies. So a lot of times you can kill a parasite, but then the babies are born and now you're reinfected. So the bentonite actually tears those sacs, and that's a really important part that Susan Hall shared with me, and I'm like, never forgot it. I literally couldn't forget anything she ever said to me. So I have lots of Susan Hall stories for y'all. Old friend of Gary and Mary Young. She's in the heavenly realms now, but she really loved this product. And this is part of the cleansing trio. And there's an amazing video that Marcella Von Harding shared about the cleansing trio. She was asked to talk about some root products from Young Living, and people just didn't know it's Essential Zyme, Comfort Tone, and Digesting Cleanse. And when you take those 3 products together, it's its own cleanse. So that's pretty fabulous when you hear that little talk. This is clearly one of the earlier products from Young Living, one of the foundation products from Young Living, and people don't know a lot about it, but look at the ingredients. Everything from Young Living, you will see, they're not just trying to make money off of a product. They're putting a million things in there that they know that you actually require for your body. It's just amazing when you look at this list. Echinacea, we've got so many things. So are there any last thoughts about this product before we go to, were you going to share about anything else, Christy, like swap out skincare or anything like that?
Do a product swap out?
Yeah. Because I'm going to do a demo because I don't have any makeup on for my red cheeks if you want.
Okay.
I didn't tell you I was going to do that.
I thought your cheeks looked fine. They look nice and cute and rosy.
They're super pink, but anyway, okay, go ahead.
So one of the things that I love is switching out product. So I like looking around my home and seeing, because Young Living has over 700 products. And so I love looking around my house and just seeing what can I swap out. And this is like the most fantastic foundation
Oh, I love it.
created. I stopped wearing makeup because I had eczema and dry skin and rashes and burning on my skin. Like, it was terrible. So I finally got sick of it and stopped wearing makeup about 8 years ago. And I really, really wanted to find a makeup company that didn't do that. And so when I picked this up finally this last year, everyone at Young Living kept saying like, it's the best foundation ever. It moisturize,
Ever.
you barely know it's there. And I'm like, what? I have tried tons of products. What can do that? And they're right. I don't feel like I have it on. I put it on and I put a little bit of our powder foundation on over the top just to take away, set it and take away any shininess. But on its own, I mean, it looks fantastic. If you can see Tina, she put it on her cheeks and it's really easy. You put it on with the brush. You can put it on with your
You
finger.
see how like normalize my skin color though? I don't like have that real bright red. It's
Yes.
still pink, like it lets me be me, but it's just a nice, like even,
medium.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think most of us at this point that really are into the Young Living products a lot, I think most of us probably use this product. It's like in the cart every single.
Literally, if you've not used this product, it's not like you need it all the time necessarily, but it actually feels like you're putting moisturizer on your face. And if you can still get these brushes, I really like their brushes too. I
Love
mean,
the
it's just
brushes.
like, oh,
They're
oh
super
yeah,
soft.
oh,
Got
so
all
nice.
the brushes. So
But if
yeah,
you're taking toxic chemicals in your body, that's like a trauma to your body. So we thought we should always mention every time we do a class talking about swapping out for better products so that you guys, because that stuff ends up all inside of your body too, all those synthetic chemicals.
and I gotta say, this product lasts a really long time. It's not
Yeah.
something you would have to buy monthly or bi-monthly. I mean, this will probably last a few months. A lot of their skincare items I've had for 4+ months, and so it's definitely worth. I think this is like $40, so it's not so bad to switch this out. And so anyway, it's one of my favorites.
I'm really glad you picked that product because it's literally one of my favorites, and I never hear anyone talking about it, and I think it's so amazing, except for you and me who just go crazy over it.
Every product.
We'll just take it all. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see if I think I have some final slides here. Yeah, maybe not. I'm going the wrong direction. I can't figure out how to use Canva here.
Oh, it looks good.
Well, at least the pictures aren't fuzzy, right? Well, I don't know where my last slide went. It's like missing. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. I think I somehow deleted it and put a red stripe through all my screens. I don't know how I did that either, but I'm learning. So if we just stand up, I'm going to show you guys. I'm not sure actually if you can see me. Let me. Oh, there was a slide. So I'm just going to describe it because you can't really see me. You're going to stand and you're actually going to just slightly tuck, like activate your pelvis and pull your belly button in. So it's just like activating. Your arms are just going to go straight out to the sides and you're just going to stand. So you're standing with your arms out. Your legs are just kind of like your hips are over your feet, like natural position, but you're going to just bring that belly button in and sort of activate. You're going to relax your shoulders down, your arms come out, right? Now, you should start to feel kind of like you're grounding. They call this mountain position. And then in your feet, I want you to kind of pull your arches up, just like activate your arches. And what should happen is you should kind of activate your thighs a little bit. So you're standing straight, your neck and shoulders are relaxed, your arms are out to your sides, your feet are coming down, and this should help you to feel actually grounding. And it's called mountain because it helps you feel grounded. And what you imagine is at that tailbone area, you have a tail coming down, an imaginary tail all the way down to the center of the earth. And if you just imagine this should help you to get really in your body. and help you to feel grounded and also help open up that energy center. It's so simple. It's just standing, right? Just standing. So that's a good one. And if you can take an oil and put it back onto your tailbone area, I mean, that's going to get it there. I will share with you that you can literally, so I took this whole course with a friend of my mom, and I had this friend who recently passed away, unfortunately on a ventilator. And she would teach these workshops, and she's actually taught me a lot about what I was feeling over the body, and she told me what that was. She's a doctor. And she said that when she couldn't intentionally clear that space, like if she felt some gunk in there or some coolness and there's no energy there, she could put oils in a spray bottle. She would usually use lavender, and she would spray over that area, and then we would put our hands in the space and we could feel that it would clear. So it was like her last resort was her spray bottle with oils. So if you're taking oils to your tailbone area, you're going to help open up that space, especially if you are imagining that that's happening. And I really do feel like when you were in the class, Christy, and we bid those applications really deep and low, probably what happened is, I don't know if you've ever done that before. Had you ever placed an oil that low on your spine before?
I don't think so.
So isn't that interesting? You're like, you felt great for days afterwards. You probably opened up that center.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense all the way, maybe, or really big. And then everything was flowing, but then we were also working with other centers in that class. So yeah, so I'm so excited because I think we're on to something here. You don't think to put oils on our tailbone, but maybe that's something we should be doing. Because for courage, for protection, for boundaries, for being this particular center feeds all the other areas of your body. And if it's shut down, it's at the base, it's at the beginning, if that makes sense. So when we're born, this is the beginning spot, right? So without the beginning being ready and working, then it's hard for the rest of us to put ourselves together, if that makes sense. So I hope that wasn't too woo-woo and crazy for y'all. It's really fascinating to me, and it's so real to me because I've been feeling it for so many years around people's bodies and experiencing those things in my own body. So it's very real to me. And if ever any of you would like to take a hands-on class like this, where you can learn how to do that, I love teaching that. It's a really fun class. Melissa and I did a series of 10, I think it was 10 classes, where we really went in depth and let you practice. We practice on each other. So that's really, really fun to do. So in closing, let's set an intention for the end.
Real quickly, it looks like there might have been a question from Deborah.
Okay, what's the question? Because I can't see that on here. Oh, wait, yes, chat right here.
No, she had a hand raised.
Oh,
Okay, what was the question? Thank you for helping me on that one.
I wasn't really a question. I just was going to make an
Observation?
I was just going to let you know that I thank you so much for tonight, because it's a reminder to go back to even foundational roots in what I learned over the years that I have been neglecting, because I've been having wrist problems on my left wrist, but I don't remember hurting it. And from tonight, I was able to know that there's an affirmation I can say for that and what is going on in my life right now. So I just want to say thank you very much, Tina, Christy, and also Sienna, because it helps me get back to that foundation, but also to help me to help others in the future. But right now, mostly I'm working on myself right now. And I just am so grateful for you guys. So thank you.
We're grateful for you. We know you're on a major healing journey, and we
Thank you.
support you and love you through that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
I
that.
know it's a daily process for you, but this is perfect for you to be reconnecting. I'm so glad you're showing up.
Thank you,
Yeah.
honey. Thank you
Yeah.
both.
You can invite any of your friends or anybody else, but right now I'm glad you're just focusing on you and showing up. It's really good.
And I do that, but you know how that is.
Yeah, they can watch it later. Yeah.
No, but I'm just so grateful. So thank you so much. And for the Wednesday night consistency, even though I missed last week, I just really appreciate that you guys show up and do this, because I know it takes a lot too, also to put into it. And I just appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we love you. Okay, so an affirmation for this area
think
would
is-
be.
Does
Oh, wait.
Deborah, do you have a question? Is it?
Oh, no. I just wanted to thank you, Sienna, for picking, and Christy. I'm just trying, I just wanted to, I was going to ask a question, but it was answered through the process.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was about my wrist. That's what's so interesting, so, but that's why I just complimented you all.
Thank you.
So I was talking to Kathleen Bailey one time, and she was saying, I was like, oh, I love to educate. And she said, above education is the reminder. And so I love that you said that, because it is really true. Like, I've noticed we all, no matter how long we've all been in this, we all remind each other like, hey, remember this, remember to do that. I'm like, so I love that too. I love the reminder.
It totally inspires me. It makes me want to, I think I'm going to do a 30-day tailbone protocol.
You know what I was going to say is I used a Panaway.
Yeah, that's
tailbone. I don't know
powerful.
why I liked it, but I was having a little, little imbalance back there, and I used it, and I was like, oh, it feels so fresh and like.
Yeah. Panaway is amazing too, because that's right on the bone, and Panaway helichrysum is amazing for bones.
Mhm.
I was going to suggest one more thing for you, Deborah, that's just coming in and just an intuition about, are you using Sulfurzyme consistently?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that'll support that.
And I'm doing both. I'm doing the red drink again, and I'm doing the capsules, but it's just, I think what it is, and there's been in 17 months tomorrow since my husband's death, there's been so much.
Right.
And I think there's what I've learned tonight on my wrist, it's the affirmation. I can handle all my experiences with wisdom, with love, and with ease. And that's what
Exactly what it is.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I learned tonight, because what I did was I sidetracked a little bit and looked on my phone for Louise Hay's affirmation on wrist. And that's what came up with it. And that's what I want to say again. And Christy said it, like, I love to teach, I love to share, and I do that. But right now I'm really honing in on my own self-care, because that's what's going to get me through this experience. And I didn't know part of the wrist thing is stubbornness and things. And,
and that's related to the root.
Yeah. And so that I'm going to take you guys up on that 30-day thing, because that was a great reminder of doing that. And I put tonight Valor on mine for courage.
Perfect.
Panaway sounds refreshing.
It was.
It does. Thank you so much.
I just know there's going to be a full circle moment in a couple of years where, like, you're that girl, you're the reason I started putting Panaway on my tailbone. And they're going to be thanking you. It's so funny. Okay, so just to close, is anybody else would like to share? Is there anything anyone else would like to share before we close up tonight? Finish up. We're good? Okay. We can say this together. You guys can just imagine this affirmation. I now release my fears to the earth and ground myself, surrendering to the pull of gravity. I'm aware at this moment in this time, this breath flowing in and out. I thank my creator for all of my needs being met. I accept any waves of fear and insecurity that arise, and I now release them. Replace them with waves of love, abundance, satisfaction, blessings, and gratitude. I enjoy owning my body, which expresses myself as a spirit-guided being. Thank you, Creator. Breathe fresh energy through the base of the spine area, merge with the earth energy, and deeply be grounded and relaxed. Those are all the things even everyone sort of talked about. Came out perfect, right? So yeah, okay, everyone, we love having you. If there's anything else, let us know. You know how to contact us, and we'll just keep this Wisdom Wednesday thing going, huh?
Sounds
Good
good.
job.
Much, the angels.
Thanks for your help, Sienna and Christy.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Thanks
See
for
you.
coming, everyone. We love you.
I have a